Knock, knock, knock. Knock, knock, knock. Knock, knock, knock. Knock,
Sure.
knock, knock.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
I am here
Let's
as
come in.
per your request. A bit late, but not my fault.
It's all good. It's all good. I was just preparing anyways.
All right.
You can take a seat.
Here's the spot. All right. I'll sit
Would you
right
like a
here.
drink?
Um, I'm good.
All right. Let me just put these away then. Okay. Would you like anything to eat or before we
I
start?
I, I just ate as we walked in, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah. If you need anything, just let me know. It's on the house
Yeah.
for the interview.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, just a few questions. Not too many today,
Yeah. Of course.
but first off, what was the reason for you dropping out of the presidential running?
Um. Ultimately, I had lost the support of my vice presidential candidate, and that was what led me to dropping out of the race.
Who was your vice president candidate?
My vice presidential candidate was Il Joan.
Oh, okay. What has he been doing now? You know, in terms of
I
presidency.
think he's been helping out Ev Park with his campaign.
Oh, I see. So instead of helping you out, he decided to drop out and help F Park.
Yeah, ultimately, he heard some very scathing claims about me that were made somewhere. I can't remember where he said they were made, but he heard some very scathing claims about me from somewhere. And so ultimately, that made him decide to drop out from my party and decide to put his uses to help out another party, which I'm okay with.
Are you comfortable talking about these claims or?
So there there were some claims made, very unsubstantiated claims made, that I had um assassinated presidential candidate Lily Beast, which is entirely not true. I know that Lily Bean killed Lily Beast once, but I have not. Mind you're a Jedi. I also
Okay.
saw Jedi kill Lily Beast.
All right. Fascinating. That's
Yeah,
very, some very strong claims, especially for a possible presidential candidate.
yeah, I know. I don't know where those claims would have come from, but he said he read it somewhere, which was strange because I didn't think there was much along those lines around here. But
I have three questions from the voices in Twitch.
okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, so they wanted to know, if you would, who would
Hmm.
you endorse for presidency out of the two candidates
At
right
this
now?
point, I don't think that I can endorse Lily Beast. So at this point, I would have to endorse Ev Park.
All right. Would you like to explain why or?
So you see, it has to do with I don't know if you've heard, but I have witnessed firsthand Lily Beast making some claims about some things that they've done to sheep and some things that they did to a horse. I think it was
Oh,
AC3's horse.
okay,
But
so I knew about the sheep claims and the bee claims. I didn't know about this horse claim. Can you
yeah,
indulge
no,
me in this?
um I just remember that they said that we were call or we were on call. We were talking just through voice chat like this, and I think I have it recorded somewhere. It's in one of my VODs I haven't published yet, but they were talking about we were talking about the sheep claims, and then they also then Lily Beast also just decided to bring up some stuff they did to a horse as well.
Oh,
So
I see.
Yes. I wasn't there for these things that happened to the horse, but I heard it from Lily Beast's mouth themselves, and if they're going to be saying bad things about themselves, then I have to assume it's true.
Yeah, I would assume so.
It's not one of those like
Moving.
self-deprecation things, like "oh, I'm so ugly" or something like that. No, they're making claims that they did stuff to a
Yeah,
horse. That's not the type of thing that you just make up about yourself.
that's unfortunate for him.
Yes. And so, anyways, I think that unless there ends up being some even more scathing things against Edward, which if there is, I might end up having to rejoin the presidential race. But as far as I'm aware, Ev Park is a
Mhm.
pretty good person, pretty good candidate, and he's someone that I think I can support, which is why I don't think I need to run anymore. And I think my talent would be well used further on in the season. And due to the limited amount of terms that you can be president, I think I
Yeah.
would rather be president later on in the season.
All right. That is sounds good. Um, what do you look for in a good president to actually like be the president you want?
So, for a president that I want, there needs to be. I guess I'm not going to say a number because I'm just going to list things that are in my head. One, they need to be a like at least morally okay person. Like they don't need to be super good morally, but they can't be a bad person morally. Like if they're in the middle, like as long as the other like qualities are still good, like I can still vote for them. But if there's someone who is like morally not good, like let's say you were touching animals in weird ways, for example, like
Yeah.
that's something that I would not be able to support. Um Also, the person needs to be someone who would be active, be on the server, be able to do things for the server, which is why I also wasn't willing to support ADIS, because I didn't think that ADIS would be an active president. I felt like they would be the person to just sit back and make, if anything was to get done, they'd be making other people get stuff done rather than doing things themselves. And I want a strong president that's willing to actually get things done on their own. And yeah, that's
Right.
pretty much it.
Sounds good. Um, are there any projects you'd wish your future president to accomplish, if any?
The big project that I mean, like obviously I had talked about making Logcraft safe, but like that's not my main thing. The main thing that I was pretty excited about for being the candidate for the first term was, I mean, you get the chance to make the presidential building as the first president, and I was wanting to make it into Princess Peach's castle from Super Mario 64. And because I felt like that would be something distinct from presidential buildings in the past. Oh, is I thought that would make it distinct from presidential buildings in the past, and I felt like that would be something cool as well, in my opinion. And that was the main thing that I was excited about with my presidency. And if either of the two candidates wanted to take that up themselves, I would be fine with them doing that.
Could you repeat what it was? Sorry, I lagged out
Um,
for a second.
I would like to make the Logcraft like presidential government building into Princess Peach's castle from Super Mario 64.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
And like I said, I'd be willing to let either one of the candidates at this point take that for themselves and use it as a part of their campaign if they wish.
All right, sounds cool. In terms of F Park's campaign, I haven't heard much. Do you know anything about what he's campaigning for?
I do not know anything about what he's campaigning for. No, I don't. All
I
I
see.
know is that
Okay.
he is running an anti Lily Beast party, and that is something that I can support.
All right. So his main focus is just being a president that is against a little beast.
I think so. I don't know though. We'd have to wait for him to give like some sort of press conference or
Yeah.
something like that to clear up what he is actually doing. And if it gets closer to like the actual election being announced and there still hasn't been any word from him on what he's doing, that also might be a thing that brings me back into the race.
All right.
Like, I don't even know who his vice president is.
Yeah, that I haven't really been able to ask him that. I haven't seen him online recently,
Yes.
but I'll most likely try to set up a interview with him, hopefully get some things out.
Yes.
All right. Anything else you'd like to say?
Um, no, not really, unless you or any of the voices inside your head have any more questions for me.
Let me check my previous notes from previous interviews if I have any questions for you.
Yeah.
Have you heard the promises Lillibeast has made?
Oh, there's promises Lily Beast made.
There are promises, and there are also legal agreements that he is willing to take to make sure these promises get done.
Oh, I don't think there's any current like courts or anything on the Logcraft server. So there would need to be the establishment of a court system first before that would legal
There
agreements would
would
even
be.
be something that I would be willing to stand behind and like think that this is something that Lilith Beast would stick to.
Yeah. So he actually promised he will host events with Han and AC3 in the tent, the Greatest Showman. He'll
Yes.
put that together. I don't know, Hamilton as well.
Yes.
But he also promised if his what he says doesn't occur, he will step down and there will be a contract for that.
So yeah, you see, that's the thing where at this point I don't think that there are currently any courts on the Logcraft server, and so I don't think there's anything that can legally force him to stick by that or anything like that. There's no court system, and I feel like it needs to be a court system set up outside of the central government, because if it's within the central government, then Lily Beast would have the power over the court system as the president. But
Well said.
so I think there needs to be an external the court system set up. And now that we're talking about that, that might even be something that I set up here soon. But
Very well. He also promised, how do you feel about this like economically wise? He also promised the gift of free golden carrots to everyone.
you see, if we're saying like we're talking about economics wise, I feel like this is a I feel like this is a very bad decision at this point in the game, because some of the biggest shops right now are these shops that are selling food and stuff to people. And by giving
Exactly.
everyone free food, this would like tank the revenue that these shops are able to bring in at this point in time. And maybe if this was later on in the season when the food shops are already less like profitable and stuff like that, and people already are like aren't looking at the food shops and they're looking for more like building materials and stuff like that, like giving free food out would be a more economically wise decision. But at this point in time, I don't know if it's necessarily the most economically wise decision.
Yeah. One way he said to combat that, quote unquote, he didn't necessarily say that, but he said he would be paying the farmers, local farmers, money for the carrots, for the golden carrots. How do you think how well do you think that would actually work?
um so you see, at that point then you'd need to, like, I guess that'd be like the equivalent of setting up like subsidies for these like carrot farmers, but in that case you're solely honing in on this one part of the food industry and leaving the rest behind, when there's a whole bunch of other like industries like the people selling beef or pork or mutton or things like that, and like leaving all them behind and all that sort of stuff. And I don't know if, like I said again, that's necessarily the most economically viable thing, especially when it is such a heated Well, I guess in my opinion, it's a heated discussion. I don't think most people think it is, whether or not the best food source is golden carrots or beef. And by honing in the government on just one of those two things, then I don't know if that's necessarily the best decision.
Yeah. He also he said he wasn't vegan but was vegetarian. However, I know this doesn't deter your standpoint because you're non-vegan, but
Yes,
he said he is against the end fight. Unfortunately, he said himself. Like this is where
against the end fight.
he's against the end fight, but he won't stop it as he'll let it happen.
Yeah. You see, my thing, if I was to become president, is that I was going to, while I was president, host bi-monthly votes by the server and let the server vote whether or not they wanted to have the end fight, and a majority vote would cause the end fight to ensue if that was achieved during my presidency. That was
All right.
my plan as to how to decide on doing an end fight or not. However, that that also could be overruled by a owner of the server obviously deciding that we are just having the end fight, but
Yeah.
that
He
would
also
be
said he'll
my
be
thing.
holding a funeral, a proper funeral, sorry, for the dragon after it's slain.
A funeral for the dragon.
Yes.
That is interesting because I know I talking to Lil Beast the vegan and vegetarian like community in general before. Um, they have said that hostile mobs or neutral mobs that have been angered against you are fine to kill and aren't like against vegan or whatever, and the Ender Dragon would be classified as a hostile mob as it does try to attack you and everything. So
Well, actually, at the press conference, one of the vegans, known as Dargan HD, actually showed remorse and actually said that he will be protesting at the end fight
we'll be protesting at the end fight. Yeah, this
because he
is.
said that the Ender Dragon is a endangered species as it's the last of its kind.
Well, you see, the counter to that is that you can, in fact, create new Ender Dragons at any time by simply placing four End Crystals around the central portal at the center at the end, and it will allow you to bring new life to the Ender Dragon race.
Wouldn't this be seen as inhumane, or do you not think so?
Um, no, I don't think that this should be seen as inhumane. I mean, it's the same way as like they do even with like endangered species in real life and helping them with like there's these like endangered species of turtles and stuff like that that they will like specifically set them up in order to help with producing new offspring and stuff like that, and I feel like seeing as there is then a infinite amount of ender dragons to be created, I don't think that you could even classify it as an endangered species.
All right. How do you feel about it though, killing the Ender Dragon after you enter its dimension and trying to kill it while it's trying to protect its home?
I mean, I feel like that's just a part of life.
Just conquering as a human, right?
No, not even as humans. Animals will do that too.
Fair enough.
Obviously, animals don't have the. I don't know if like most animals would have the ability to get to the end for the Ender Dragon specifically, but animals will encroach on each other's territories and stuff like that as well. Like, it's not just a human thing.
Just asking questions on both sides of the spectrum.
Yeah,
There's also one that's pretty much all the questions I have that are pretty serious. Like
yeah.
with this presidential campaigns so far. Like Lil Beast showing he doesn't want to be partake in it. But he said he will put his vice president. The only issue I see with him putting his vice president now is Panda's no longer his vice presidential candidate. It's now
Yes.
Miss Anarqueen, who is also vegetarian. And if I do remember correctly, if I look at the questions I did ask her, she does hold a regard because she is vegetarian.
Hmm.
She's also for the animal rights activity. So this would cause some trouble with the end fight.
But that's another thing
But
too that
she,
I just thought about with Lily Beast and Lily Beast campaign is the whole like animal rights thing with the fact that like most like with the server having to all be stuck on this one part of this one island for the time being, it at this point in time it is very infeasible for people to be able to get the like products and stuff that they use from these animals while keeping them in like these more bigger range like wide open like open range like farms and stuff like the like Lily Beast had been campaigning for. And
yeah,
like I see that maybe once we get to the point where people are building their mega bases and stuff, and it's off of the central island and stuff like that, like sure, yeah, but with having to get like 30 people all like smushed in on this one island, there isn't necessarily the space on the island in order to be able to have these like open range farm. It's once again, it's one of these things. It's a feasibility thing. Well, sure. Do I think that having the open range, like the free range animals and stuff like that, would be better? Of course I do. But at this point in time, it's a more of a feasibility thing, and me thinking that it's not feasible.
sorry, I am
It's
back.
not. Yeah, it's not feasible at this current point in time in order to establish a like something like that on the server with how cramped together everyone is.
Yeah,
Which again is another reason why ultimately I feel like I do not support Lily Beast in this campaign compared to Ev Park.
I find it to be fair.
Though, of course, I'd have to wait and see what Ev Park's ultimate goals for president are before I can make my 100% seal of approval on him.
Of course, of course. Can't be too sure because currently he doesn't really done a press conference, hasn't really actually had a full campaign set to the public yet. And we are all uncertain of who his vice presidential candidate is.
Yes. Yes,
It
which I
could
feel
be
like
Il
all
Jone,
will be.
but
Yeah, I feel like all will be revealed in due time.
of course, I mean, it has to be eventually.
Well, of course, but
Yeah. Um, and that's pretty much it for the just the serious questions, pretty much.
yeah, I mean, if you have anything else you want to ask me about anything going on, feel free to shoot the questions. But
I mean, one silly question I had a voice tell me was, "Do you think pineapple should be on pizza?"
so, I think it depends on the pizza. Some pizzas do go better with do are fine with pineapple, and some pizzas like I don't know, I'd say like taco pizza or something like that. I don't know if I'd want pineapple on there. Whereas like a traditional Hawaiian pizza, yes, absolutely put pineapple on there.
All right. Would you like to indulge in what a taco pizza is? I have never heard of that.
Taco pizza. I'm not even sure what mostly is on taco pizza. Like, I've only had it like once or twice, but it's just the first thing that came to my mind because it has like lettuce and tomatoes and stuff like that. That it's like a taco, and I was like, I don't know, just in my head that didn't sound like it. Maybe it would be good with pineapple, but in my head that was the first thing that came to mind is something that I was just like, yeah, probably not gonna be the best with that, but yeah, like
There is
taco.
a taco that does what's it called? What's the word? Normally normally does come with pineapple in it.
Yeah, isn't that more of like fish tacos and stuff though that will come with?
No, it would be a sort of. If I'm correct, it should be a sort of beef, but it's like marinated, so it tastes better with
Oh,
purposefully
okay,
with
yeah,
pineapple.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not like
Yeah,
your
like this,
traditional
yeah, like I was saying though, like
ground beef.
pineapple can be good on pizza. I think it depends on the kind of pizza, but
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say pineapple's good on every pizza. I'm not gonna say that pineapple shouldn't be on any pizza, but
yeah,
I am
all
all
to their own.
for having pineapple on pizza.
Okay.
Okay, but and I tried to remember what is on this, but Swedish pizza, that's where things get interesting. Is Swedish. Hold on, I'm gonna look up to remember what's on it. I just remember it being like fucking like weird as hell. Um oh yeah, obviously you have bananas on the pizza.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, so I have a Swedish person in my chat. They're saying they have
Okay.
no idea what this is.
Oh, have they never heard of it? The last
It,
Swedish person that I talked to about it, they knew exactly what I was talking about. But
oh, they're talking. Oh, banana curry pizza. They just said
banana
that.
curry. That's what I'm
They said
seeing
it's
here.
good.
Yeah, of course they'd say that.
I mean, you can't really knock it till you try it.
Yes, I can, and I will.
All right, fair enough. One more thing about Little B. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's he's after I asked him a question about like how will he include people in the choices of the community. He wasn't able to answer directly himself. He answered, but not in a very well way. So then his advisor, which is now vice president candidate, Miss Anna Queen, answered for him, saying that they will be making more of a House of Representative type structure for government for community to be enabled in the choices. So like some communal areas, like they pick one person to be in the representatives, and then they can like vote on stuff for the community.
You see, that's something where I feel like if we're going to say that, they need to be more fully fleshed out and open before like the campaign and everything about what these districts are going to be, who's going to be in each district and stuff like that, and how these votes are going to take place in order to like in order for me to be able to support that, because there's a lot of history, especially with like US elections, of people maliciously drawing lines and making districts in a way to entirely serve their purposes rather than following the more natural community lines or whatever.
Yeah,
And so I need to see how they plan on dividing things up before I would be able to support something like that.
completely fair. That should be all for me then.
That's all from you, all right?
One last thing from the voice in my head.
Yes, yes.
What would Lilibis have to do to improve and gain more votes, would you say?
Um, Honestly, at this point, I feel like the people that are unwilling to support Lillibeast would be unwilling to support them no matter what, because the things that they've already done to the sheep and the horses and the bees are things that cannot be undone and have already happened and are heinous crimes, especially for someone that claims to be a vegetarian and claims to be about animal rights and stuff. So ultimately, I don't think that there would be any way in which I would be able to support Lily Beast, or that most of the people that are against him would be able to support him.
All right. This is not from me. This is from the voices again. Why are you a hater?
Why are you a hater? Because I feel like serious crimes are things that should be taken seriously, and if there was some sort of like legal system on this server, then I feel like Lilith Beast may be either be getting some very hefty fines or some very long jail time.
All right.
Mind Hero Jedi joined the game.
Would you not say this is similar to how the USA presidential run-in is going so far, as there is a convict felon running for president right now?
Um, yes, although I would say that the current actually, what the fuck is Trump even convicted of at this point?
Like he has like 80, 70 felonies on him. I don't even know. I think a lot of them is for like
Well, yeah, but like I
tax
don't think
evasion,
they're
like a
yeah,
lot of like
like that's what I was gonna say. I feel like tax evasion isn't on the same level as sexually assaulting an animal. Like I feel like there's
yeah,
some
fraud and
disconnect
stuff.
between the.
Yeah.
I feel like there's some disconnect between those two crimes and their seriousness. Like obviously fraud is still a bad thing, but I feel like that's something where like you
It's not
can make
as
up
bad.
you can make up from fraud. I don't think you can make up from sexually assaulting animals or people.
Yeah.
I think that's something that happens and you just cannot come from that back from that. Fraud is something that I feel like yes, you can come back from that.
Yeah. Two questions I have to ask for the reason of publishing. One, am I allowed to, if I were to make a video of this, am I allowed to publish this for the Panda Times?
You can publish it. There's nothing that you need to redact from it. You can publish it as is.
All right. Thank you. That's all I needed then. All right.
Though I will
Uh,
say, if you do specifically cut out parts in order to make me look worse than I am, I will be seeing you in court.
I won't be doing any of that. I only cut out parts of it. It's like, oh, like the
Yeah,
pineapple on pizza thing. That's
yeah.
probably the only part I would cut
If
out, if
there's
any.
boring parts, like sure, whatever. But if you're gonna
Yeah.
either cut my responses or cut out like certain parts to make me look worse, then I will be I will be seeing you in court.
If I were to cut out any parts, I would upload the full video, like
Yeah. Well,
full
I mean, I'm
recording
gonna be
altogether.
uploading the full thing anyways, so.
Yeah.
But
So don't worry.
defamation is a very serious. Well, it's not really not compared to some things alleged against the Philippines, but
Yeah.
you.
I'm complete. I have stated I am completely neutral, so I will not be condoning any form of defamation on any character. I am only showing all the truth that is needed.
Yes. I do want to say, I'm not going to ask you who you are voting for, but do you plan on voting in the presidential
Nope,
election?
I do not.
All right. That's my one question for you, and with that, I will leave.
All right, see ya.